It's Pick'em's time, Maz.
Buddy, we were talking about how it was the Jordan episode. It's only right that I got LeBron's most famous number on top of you right now. It's just GOAT status all over the place, and I just think that this is going to continue to lead to Maz dubs. Yes, you picked up a game on me, but we are 6 games still on up, and good luck because I think I'm gonna just be very conservative this last 4 weeks because I can't collapse here now.
Which means I'm gonna have to take some risks. But
I took risks last week, and like
you took one risk. You took
it
one
was,
risk.
how did I not take the 49ers, dude? I feel like such an idiot for that one. I was like, oh,
So,
injuries. They're not going to do nothing. I should have known better.
Yeah, I put up.
so is Maz on?
Sorry, I put
Sorry,
up.
go ahead.
I put up. You guys pick'ems last week. Maz, you lost the Packers to the Lions, and then you guys had Cardinals versus Seahawks. Maz, you took the Seahawks, and Charlie, you took the Cardinals, and then of course Charlie took the Niners. Maz took the Bears. So Charlie gained a game this week.
Yeah, I should have taken Seattle. I was thinking maybe Arizona had a chance at home, but they've been playing not so great the last few weeks,
I
unfortunately.
I have absolutely no regrets with taking Green Bay, dude. I really thought they were going to win that game. The
And
only one I regret is San Francisco.
they probably should have won that game too. Like if the Lions don't get it on one of those fourth downs that they went for and on, that's a Green Bay win. So I got lucky on that one for sure. But yeah, Maz with only a 6 game lead heading into week 15. We have 4 weeks to go. I have 6 games to make up on, and now we got Ant back in the picture making his picks. And if we're going off winning percentage, producer Anthony Cafone has quite the resume here because the one week he picked with us, week 6, he went a perfect 14-0. So
And the funny thing
no
was,
mistakes this week.
I took the favorite in almost every game. I realized that afterwards. I took the favorite in every game, and they went 14-0 that week, which is kind of crazy to think about. I did not even think that was gonna happen.
That could have been a life changing 14 leg parlay. Ant. Come on,
And
man.
I didn't place it. You know what? And that's always how it goes in betting.
That's why it hit, because he didn't put the money down.
Because I didn't.
Because
Yeah,
we're so
right.
corroded over here. You kidding me? Oh, man. Gentlemen, it is time. First game of the week takes us to Thursday, Charlie.
Yeah, Thursday night football, NFC West clash of rivals. Los Angeles Rams coming off a crazy high scoring win over the Buffalo Bills in San Francisco against the San Fran team that just blew out the Chicago Bears. Niners are 2.5 point favorites, and I like the home team here. I know the Rams are coming off a win, but so are the Niners, and the Niners need this more. If they even want to stay alive in the playoff picture in the NFC West, they need to win this game. And I'm taking the home team, San Francisco here.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. I mean, the Rams just came off of an absolute battle with the Bills, which they came out on top, but I know that's had to take a little bit out of them. The Niners, I should have known better playing against the Bears. They kind of got a walk in the park. I think that they're going to be a little more well rested. Of course, there's implications in division rivalry teams going at it right now. We'll see how it goes down, but I do see the 49ers coming out on top.
The Rams have been giant killers this year, beating the Vikings, who have 11 wins, beating the Bills last week, who had 10 wins, and they've also had a really good game against the Seahawks, where they won earlier this year. So they are good against really high quality teams. The Niners stumble a lot, and I think with LA's combination of the run game with Kyron Williams, and now you finally see Puka Nacua getting more involved in this offense as the season goes along. I really don't think San Fran has anybody who can cover Puka Nacua right now, and I think LA is going to be able to handle them. It's going to be a one-score game, but I think they win.
Really? Okay. All right. We got
So that's one loss for me and Charlie. Keep it moving.
first diverging pick. I always digging it. Next up in the 1 o'clock slate, starting things off, is the Commanders down in the Bayou playing the Saints. Commanders 7 point favorites. The Saints looking to be without Derek Carr as he got banged up against the Giants last weekend. It's going to be either the Jake Hayner show or Spencer Rattler. They did sign Ben DiNucci this week off into the practice squad, so maybe he gets some reps, but we'll see. I think this is an easy Washington pick for all of us, right,
I don't
guys?
know why you're saying the Spencer Rattler or whomever show. It's going to be the Jaden Daniels show, my friend. They are absolutely not only are they going to win this game. I don't even like the spread that I'm seeing at only 7.5. I think they're going to dominate this game with a capital D. Pause.
I think the Commanders are going to win this one. I agree with you guys. I think their defense has really come alive over these last couple of weeks. Even you could throw away that Cowboys loss from a few weeks ago, but since then, I mean, they held the Eagles to 26 points. The Titans couldn't get more than 19 on them. Defense starting to play better. I love Jaden Daniels. Even though I will disagree, I don't think he's the rookie of the year as much as everybody likes to say. I like Brock Bowers personally, but I think Jaden Daniels will win the rookie of the year. And I think he takes care of New Orleans this week.
That's something we can touch on next week, is that offensive rookie of the year race. Because it's so close right now between. I mean, the three favorites are obviously Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and Brock Bowers, and all three of them could have a case to win it. But definitely an interesting race that's only going to heat up as the season ticks closer and closer to a close. Not a divisional matchup, but definitely a rivalry between these two teams. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Tennessee Titans. They've had some playoff games the last few years, some great matchups in the regular season. But this is a different Titans team this time around. No Mike Vrabel coaching, no Ryan Tannehill, no Derrick Henry. Easy Cincinnati win for me in Nashville. I think the Bengals win out. I'll be real. I haven't taken too close of a look at their schedule, but I could see them winning out, getting to 9-8, and maybe hoping for some help to get into the playoffs come the end of the season.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen for the rest of the season for the Bengals. What I will tell you this is that it's an easy dub against the Titans this week. I think that passing game is just going to exploit them. I know that the Titans are pretty decent, pretty solid on the defensive side of the ball, but that offense is just a train wreck, struggling against Jacksonville. Give me the Bengals every day of the week.
Yeah, I think if the Bengals had a better record right now, we wouldn't just be talking about Joe Burrow as an MVP frontrunner. I think Jamar Chase should be in the MVP talks as well. The way he's been just absolutely lighting it up over these last couple of weeks. Talk about 2 touchdowns on 11 catches last night against Dallas. Was absolutely sensational. Almost cost me a fantasy playoff spot, but thankfully I was able to hold on. But Jamar Chase has been fantastic. Chase Brown, I think, is a guy that is really slept on under the radar as a running back this year. I think he'll gash that Tennessee front seven. I got Cincinnati winning by a blowout.
Yeah, the 4.5 points there is looking real nice, I'd say, if you're a betting man. Another tough AFC matchup. Miami Dolphins headed down to Houston to face the Texans. Texans coming off a bye, 2.5 point favorites at home. And I know the Dolphins are desperate and they need to win out in order to have a chance to even crack into the postseason. But I like Houston as a team here coming off the bye. I think they've gotten healthier on the offensive line. Still going to be missing a few pieces on defense, but give me CJ Stroud at home against this Miami Dolphins team that the defense is not great and the offense, while productive, it can be stopped.
So, Charlie, for these next coming picks, let me go first just so people don't think I'm playing it too conservative because you're the one that needs to go against me. And I told you that I swear this is exactly who I think about taking. I do think that the Dolphins are going to go down swinging. I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a master class of a game. I just don't think it's going to end up being enough. I do see the Texans coming off that bye at home, handling business and moving on with their season. And I do see that the Dolphins getting desperate. While I do think that it's going to be a shootout, I do think that the Texans will be the last one standing when all said and done.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be pretty cut and dry. Houston with 2 weeks to prepare against the Miami team who has looked very shaky over the season. Tua's looked fantastic since coming back from injury. And I got to say, the fact that after what he's been through, all those head injuries and another time where he had to be, helped off the field earlier this year, he's come back and he's played with the vengeance. 10 touchdowns to 1 pick. I think he's taking care of the ball better, but I still think Houston's defense, their pass rush has been fantastic this year. Danielle Hunter, since coming over from Minnesota, has been such a wrecker in that backfield. And then, of course, Joe Mixon has just been having a career renaissance. A couple of high-key, great free agents Houston's pulled in. I think them and Minnesota have had the 2 best free agency classes this year. Houston's been fantastic. I think they take the win here against Miami.
Kansas City at Cleveland. Kansas City 4.5 point favorites on the road against the Browns. Mazz, go ahead.
It's absolutely going to be a Chiefs win. I don't even want to hear any other. I'm hoping that Myles Garrett gets after Patrick Mahomes. I would like to, see a couple of sacks on that end, but nonetheless, the league wants the Chiefs to win. The Chiefs are looking pretty damn good, even though it's been an ugly fashion. They've been getting it done. I see no reason to believe as to why Cleveland is going to be the one that trips them up. However, again, I think just like the Dolphins, Jameis Winston's going to be going down swinging, but he's been known to turn the ball over. I've talked about it in previous weeks. I don't see why it's not going to happen this week again. It's Chiefs every day, all day. Put the house on it. There's no way the Browns can beat them, I think.
I smell a Jameis Winston masterclass coming.
Oh, come on. Come on. I want it.
I mean,
jump on that train.
Jump on that train. I mean, despite the interceptions, the only real downside to his game lately, he's been, efficient outside of the picks. He's just got to be able to not turn the ball over against this Kansas City defense, which has just been, again, Spags just coaches such a great group in on that defensive side of the ball. So I can't really go against the Chiefs just because they have that voodoo magic on their side. So I'm gonna take Kansas City.
I feel what you're saying though, and like this feels like a Browns home game. Jameis just slinging it 40, 50 times this game. They have a chance, puncher's chance. And especially against Kansas City, it's going to be a one-score game at the end somehow. You know what I mean?
Here.
And it's going to come down to some stupid referee penalty. Some ref's going to throw a dumb flag on a... Well, it's supposed to be a legal shift, but it's going to be a false start or whatever. We're just going to give the ball to the Chiefs, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's how the NFL does their games now.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the exact game script of the last 4 or 5 Chiefs game. So, this one, all right, so these next two is where we might get some variance here, Mazz, between yourself and myself, and hopefully get a little ground to make up here. But first up, Dallas Cowboys headed to the East Coast to face the Carolina Panthers. Panthers have been a jumpstart, spicy team these last few weeks. They put a scare into the Chiefs. They put a scare into the Eagles. They damn near beat the Bucs 2 weeks ago, if not for a Chuba Hubbard fumble in overtime. Mazz, go ahead. You go first.
I know you're probably going to end up taking the Panthers. Go ahead. I don't want them to win, but the Cowboys should win this game. I think they're going to be getting after it on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I do see Dallas coming out on top. I think that they are going to be pissed off with the previous week's what just transpired last night. They were hanging in with the Bengals for a little bit, but just didn't have enough juice. The Panthers sure as hell aren't the Bengals. And give me them boys, even though I wish that they would lose, get the draft pick and trade back, and I will continue to stand on that stance till the end of the season. But nonetheless, Cowboys win. Yeah, go ahead. Roll the dice on the Panthers. You wouldn't even throw it on the Browns.
I'm rolling. I
know you are. Let's go.
The Panthers have been playing better than the Browns in recent memory.
They're not a better team, though.
I don't know. I think Bryce Young has been playing great. Chuba Hubbard's running the ball good. The defense has been playing really good. Dave Canales might have been a hit at head coach. I'm taking the Panthers.
Well, Dave Canales might have been a hit at head coach. It's not going to be for this game. It's not going to be the rest of the season. Maybe next year, retune for it, and hopefully that big draft pick that they're going to have makes a splash. But keep it moving.
I mean, how can you not root for Bryce Young?
Right?
I can't help but not root for the guy. Like, after everything he's gone through, number 1 pick, and now everyone's calling him a bust a year and a half into his career. He lost his girl to Tyrese Maxey. All this stuff that went down. And this guy continues to just look it in the face and say, I'm cool. Let's play.
Put a smile on his face, too.
And put a smile on his face and balls. I love Bryce Young. I want this guy to really pan out at the NFL level. I was rooting for him when he came out of Bama. I think, Carolina, there's a difference between good teams and bad teams, right? There's always that discretion. Good teams find a way to win the ugly games. And Carolina, despite, week after week of getting in these ugly games, they find ways to lose in the end. So for me, that really tells me that they're not a good team at all. So I think Dallas is sort of the same way, but at least they've come away with some of these wins. I'm going to take Dallas. I trust Mike McCarthy a little bit more to beat a really experienced group. I think CD also goes off this week. I think CD 8 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown.
I love how you just hit me with that violin symphony going with it. We even got down to the world's smallest violin right there, just to throw me a curveball right at the end of it.
Listen, it's 2024,
You know what's
Mazz.
gonna happen?
It's 2024,
Mike-
Mazz. The feel-good story is dead. There's no more feel-good stories in 2024.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, Mike McCarthy is 100% going to win this game and then be absolutely dumbfounded when they can his ass at the end of the season. All right.
I don't know. It's picking up some steam that McCarthy might come back. They might.
That's Jerry. That's Jerry. Classic Jerry.
All right. Next up on the slate, another tank bowl. This could damn well be for a top 3 pick here. The New York Jets are headed down to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. Jets 3.5-point favorites on the road. Give me the Jets. Give me the
Jets. Give me the Jets. They can't stink worse than the Jaguars, Charlie. They just can't. If you lose to this Jaguars team, there's no hope. I don't even have hope for next season. There's no hope. It is just you guys made a deal with the devil. Joe Namath sold his soul in '69. If you can't beat the Jaguars, not only is the universe against you, God's against you, Buddha's against you, the flying spaghetti monsters against you. Every supernatural power in the damn universe hates the damn Jets if they can't get past this Jaguars team, which is abysmal.
I think regardless if they get past this Jaguars team or not, everything you just said, yeah, all of those spiritual beings hate the Jets, Mazz. That's not news, okay? It's just how things have been.
Sorry if I missed any other religious figures out there for inclusivity reasons. All right.
And actually,
they're all against them.
And actually, the fact that the Jets will win this game is actually proof that Buddha, Cthulhu, whatever insert religious figure here hates the Jets, because they're gonna win enough games to get out of the top 5 and be in that 6 to 10 range where they probably draft some fucking bust out of God knows where. So, like, whatever, man. Yeah, the Jets are going to win this game and screw their draft position up. I know.
Yeah, it would be the most Jets
Arizona
thing
State.
ever.
He's the best running back in the country. Don't you
Scadaboo?
guys know?
Scadaboo? You talking Scadaboo right now? That guy's a tank, but not a first-round pick.
He's the best running back. He's the best running back in the country. Don't you guys know?
I think the Jets win this game.
Action.
I'm with you guys. I think the Jets win this game. This would be the Jets thing to do. You're versus a team that's also tanking, and the Jaguars they're atrocious. Even with or without Trevor, it wasn't working. It's not working. I mean, they do have injuries. Christian Kirk's been out the last couple of weeks, and that's a big loss to the receiver room. Brian Thomas. I think he's a really good receiver, but I think he has really nothing else to throw to. So I think he needs a couple extra options in that offense in order to free himself up more. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jacksonville was ready to compete. And it's sad to say, I don't think they were ready to compete at all. Doug Peterson is probably going to get canned after this year again. It stinks because I think he's a very good head coach. He's just continuing to kind of lose players, and Jacksonville's looking about relocating. It's just not a great situation to be in if you're a head coach. I think the Jets are able to get this one down.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know. Who cares? All right, our next game is the largest point spread difference I've seen so far this year, and that's the Baltimore Ravens headed to MetLife Stadium to take on the Giants. Lamar Jackson's only loss to an NFC team came about 2-3 years ago when they lost to the Giants.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
At MetLife. No?
They lost to the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
Oh, damn. That's kind of disappointing. Okay. Well, Lamar Jackson's only other NFC loss. But, yeah, 14.5 points is totally reasonable. Give me the Ravens here. They're probably going to blow the Giants out of the water.
I've been trying to stay away from gambling because I'm still not over Charles Oliveira not being able to tap out Michael Chandler while having his back for 4 friggin' rounds. How dare you be a black belt and not be able to do that? But I'm telling you, this might be the game that gets me back on the betting trail. Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns. As our friends at Around the Felt like to say, limit.
I was at that game, that Ravens-Giants game 2 years ago at MetLife Stadium. Lamar Jackson was absolutely balling. The Ravens were up 10 points with less than 8 minutes to go, and
he fumbled though, didn't he?
Yeah, then he fumbled. Yeah, no, because there was a bad snap. It was a bad snap.
Yeah,
And it was a John Harbaugh masterclass, and how to blow leads. He knows how to do it better than anybody I've ever seen. And I was sitting there watching the game in my Ravens jersey, Giants fans all around me. I had to walk to my car while getting insulted. It was a freaking horrible day. Now it's time to get retribution. I want 48 points dropped on this sorry-ass franchise. I want Lamar Jackson with 5 touchdowns. I want Jackson 5. I want the defense to sack, whether it's Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito. I don't care. I want him on the ground 9 times on Sunday. I want the Ravens by 1 million.
Ravens by 1 million. Ravens 14.5. You heard it here first.
If you can't tell, I'm so salty about that game.
Ant, you go into this game? I believe tickets are like $5.
I do have to work. I mean, I'll see if I can try to get some coverage for my shift. I would love to go. They're definitely going to be like $1.50 to get.
Charlie, my first NFL game as a fan. Let's go watch the Ravens smack the Giants.
I'll be real with you. This is when I wake up Sunday morning after 2 days of Heisman. The last thing I'm going to want to do is get in the car and drive to MetLife Stadium.
You're right. I got to go to the city back on the 16th. Your boy is heading to that J. Cole one night only concert. So
dude, I'm so jealous. You have free, right? Free tickets that?
Yeah, bro. My best friend Eli, his girlfriend, the most unselfish person on the planet this year, sending him to that concert. She couldn't use the second ticket due to working reasons. Just started a new job. Congratulations to her. She hit me up and gave me the free ticket, bro. It was absolutely amazing. So 10-year anniversary, 2014, Forest Hill Drive, working Heisman for 2 days, then hitting that J. Cole concert, and then, hitting Unk status further, turning 27, I believe, on Wednesday the 18th. I will be at Sojo Spa, relaxing, getting my steam room on.
Yeah, you get up there.
Yeah, I hate you. I hate you so much. Anyway, speaking of getting up there, the season's getting up there. I can't believe it's week 15. Charlie, what's the next slate?
We got a pseudo playoff game between the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. This could damn well be for a playoff spot by the end of the season because these two teams are going to be vying for that last 7th AFC wildcard spot, and whoever wins this game is going to have the tiebreaker. It's a home Denver game. They're favored by 4.5 points, and I don't know how you couldn't rock with Denver at home. I mean, Indianapolis is flying out, at a higher elevation. And I just think Denver's playing better football than the Colts are right now. I know that they're coming off a bit of a gutsy win 2 weeks ago against the Patriots, but Denver, Bo Nix is playing top 10 quarterback play in the league right now. Offensive line's fantastic. Defense is fantastic. Give me the Broncos at home.
I'll tell you right now, Charlie. Bo Nix, I think, needs to be in that conversation for Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he's going to win it, but we definitely got to talk about him.
He's in the combo. Yeah.
He's turned the season around. Denver again is looking like home field advantage like no other. How do you not rock with the Broncos against the Colts right now?
Yeah, I like the Broncos. I think their roster still needs a few more improvements at a couple of key positions. Sure. I don't trust Javonte Williams as the lead back right now. They need another really good stud running back. I think if they can get Ashton Jeanty in the draft this year, I think that would make huge dividends. And look at that, Mazz's knees.
Special guest.
I'm on the clock for another half hour, and then Mama Mazz coming home and taking over duties. But until then, Uncle Duties do continue. For anybody out there looking to hire your boy, a multifaceted, can babysit, break down games, give hot takes, whatever you need. For the love of God, somebody give your boy a salary.
No, but back to what we were talking about. I think Denver still has a few more pieces. I think Indianapolis is lucky to have 6 wins this year. I don't think this team is good at all. Like, they have a decent defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, the quarterback carousel they've had this season, they just don't put up enough points for me to warrant, really this whole playoff hype. They've won a couple of crucial games, but I don't think they're a good team. I think they're going to have a second half collapse here. I think it starts with Denver here this weekend.
I think everybody's just in love with Anthony Richardson and the capabilities of what could be. They still got to retune, even especially if they meet in the playoffs. It could be in Indianapolis. I still would be rocking with Denver. I do not think. I think Ant's right. I think the Colts do not have what it takes. They could get into the dance, but they're not getting on the floor and busting a move for sure.
I just think the AFC is too
Definitely
stacked
not.
this year. I think the AFC is way too stacked
Yeah.
this year.
Well,
AFC is essentially the West for the NBA. It's just always better, I feel like.
Well, it's going to be the Chargers and the Ravens as those last two wild cards, or as those first two wild card spots. Then the last one's going to be a toss up between, Denver, Indianapolis, like we said, and then throw Cincinnati in the mix there a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens down the stretch.
And don't forget about Miami too. Miami could be
Miami too. They got to win out, but we'll see.
Right.
But moving on, this one's a bit more of a layup. New England at Arizona. Cardinals are 5.5-point favorites, and this kind of smells like a get-right game to me for the Cardinals. I don't know about you guys, but that's what
Absolutely. Kyler Murray definitely got to be pissed off for that Seattle loss. The Patriots have a lot of growing pains. It's going to be a little bit of a tough defense, but I think Kyler's due threat ability actually is going to work pretty well against them. I think it's going to be a convincing Cardinals win.
New England's in tank mode. I think New England, they're going to try to get Travis Hunter this year. I think that New England is, for me, this makes the most amount of sense for Travis Hunter as New England. I just think they need a solid wide receiver to really headline that offense. And I think Travis Hunter could be that. And if you want him to play this other side of the ball, have him paired up with Christian Gonzalez in that secondary, and you really have one of the better secondary cores in the league. I think Travis Hunter is going to be a New England Patriot next year, and I think the Patriots going to have to lose a few more games in order to get him. And I think Arizona, they're trying to make a playoff push. They got a lot more to play for here in these last few weeks. And I think they are a good team. I think they are. I think Gannon has them playing very good. I think Kyler Murray's having a good bounce back season. I think Arizona takes care of business against New England.
Fellas, if Travis Hunter goes to the Patriots, right, and just plays, 1,000-yard receiving on the offensive side and ends up with, let's say 5 picks on the defensive side, I mean, how long until we're talking about this kid being legitimately the best player in the league?
I mean, I got to see it first. That's I want to see.
I don't have faith in it, to be honest. I thought Jabril Peppers was going to be able to do that at a high level. I know that Travis Hunter looks to be able to do it at the higher level, but I just don't see this being sustained, dude. But if he does, I will have to digress and bow down to the greatness that would be Travis Hunter.
Well, I think what you're going to see when he comes to the pros is he's going to be a full-time cornerback. And then there'll be offensive packages where he's out on the field lined up at receiver or just getting the ball in his hands in some fashion.
That's kind of how they did with Deion. That's how Deion worked in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like Deion was a DB first, but he was used in a bunch of offensive packages, punt returner. I think Travis will be a great punt returner, kick returner, if they want to use him in that aspect role too.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Guys, this 4:00 slate on Sunday is like legendary. So we have New England and Arizona, which is probably the worst game of that slate. But then here we are heading into Tampa Bay at Los Angeles Chargers. Should be a fantastic game. Chargers are playing really well right now, coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Kansas City, but got a chance here to get back in the win column over a Bucs team that is good but can be beat. And I'm taking the Chargers because I just think they need wins right now more than the Bucs to stay in the thick of things in the AFC wildcard race. I just think they're overall a better team.
Is Herbert?
I do not agree with you. I do. I don't care if he is. He can. He cannot. I don't care. Baker Mayfield, Baker Mania. That's where we're rocking. I like them better. I think. Listen, you're playing over in Los Angeles. It's not. The weather's not going to be a factor in this one. They're going to be just fine. Tampa, Los Angeles. It's about the same, right? Give me Baker on the road. I got Baker over Justin Herbert every day of the week, baby. And that seems to be my catchphrase for this episode. I know. You love Herbert. I don't. He's good. He's really good. But so is Baker Mayfield, and he's got the better weapon right now in Mike Evans.
I think Tampa Bay's main offensive factor is their running game right now. Bucky Irving and Rashad White have been a great 1-2 punch. I think they've been relying on that since Godwin and Evans have both gone down. The Chargers have one of the best rush defenses in the NFL. Any way you cut it. And I think the Chargers are going to be able to lock up that Tampa Bay running game. I think if Herbert... I don't know if Herbert is going to play. I know he suffered a little bit of that leg injury against Kansas City this past week. I think he will be ready for this one. I think with the way they're playing, I think J.K. Dobbins able to get the running game moving. They'll try a couple of deep shots deep. I think L.A. is going to be able to take down the Bucs.
Outnumbered on this one, Mazz.
Love the odds stacked against me, all right?
All right. Next up on our legendary 4 o'clock slate, the battle for Pennsylvania. The Pittsburgh Steelers in Philadelphia playing the Eagles. Eagles are 5.5-point favorites at home here, which is very generous because this is a 10-3 team versus an 11-2 team. This is two of the best in football right now. But I think I just got to lean with Philadelphia. Their offense is more explosive than Pittsburgh's just because they have so much more talent at those weapon spots. I mean, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. Who knows if Dallas Goedert's going to play or not compared to, and I mean no disrespect, George Pickens, who's doubtful with a hamstring injury right now, Van Jefferson, Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth. Give me the Eagles. I think the defenses are very comparable. I give the edge to the Philly offense.
The question for Philly has been their defense for me, and as much as I would love to rock with Pittsburgh, it is a Philly home game, and I saw what they did to the Ravens. They can hang in there with the best of them, and the Ravens, of course, having a better offense than the Steelers do, so I trust them on that side. The Eagles definitely have the better offense out of them and the Steelers, although I've been liking Russ, and I've been liking the grind-out play that we've been seeing, and even the clutch performances coming up big, but I just think that even with the A.J. Brown and quarterback woes of are they fighting, are they friends, who gives a damn, hopefully it doesn't bite them like it did McNabb and Owens down the line, but I think for this week, Philly will be able to stay intact.
I'm going to go against you guys. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm taking Mr. Unlimited.
Okay,
I'm taking Mr. Unlimited, the Danger Witch King, Russell Wilson. I just think Pittsburgh's a better team than Philly. I think Philly is a little overrated. All this talk about their offense and all these star players, but they really haven't impressed me on the offensive end. I mean, Saquon's having a good year, but they get long drives and they don't finish these drives. And I think Philly, they're trying to get more out of Jalen Hurts, and he's having a good season, but I still think there are moments where he needs to step up and be that, elite quarterback, and there are times where he just doesn't live up to that. I think the Steelers' defense is the best defense in football. I don't think there's any defense in the NFL that's better than the Steelers' defense right now. I think they're the Iron Curtain again. I think Pittsburgh on the offensive end has been great. Even if Pickens doesn't play, Russell Wilson has been fantastic, taking care of the ball a lot better this year. And Philly's defense, their pass rush is going to have to really do a lot of work against that Pittsburgh offensive line, which is notoriously always been very good. I think the Steelers continue with their hot streak and they take down Philadelphia.
Not gonna lie, Hart will be rocking with the Steelers. I just sticking with Philly.
All right, so we got another diverging pick. These 4 o'clock games, man, they're tearing us apart. Can't stay in lockstep forever, and I got a feeling we're going to be switching up a little bit on this one, which has game of the year potential. Buffalo Bills to play the Lions. Arguably two of the best teams in each of these conferences. The Bills might be a top dog in the AFC. Lions are the top dog in the NFC right now. Mazz, I'll let you go. I'll let you take this one first. Who you got?
It's probably going to bite me in the ass because they're home. But give me the Bills. I've been saying the AFC is better. I love the passing game that we're seeing out of Josh Allen. This is MVP stake it. You just got screwed over in that Rams game. We all saw the offsides wasn't called. But nonetheless, I think they're going to be pissed off that they just had one of the best games of the year and couldn't get the job done. This also could be that I think the Bills will get the job done. I love the unit that we're seeing. I like their defense better. I think they're in better tact. Yes, there might be some bigger names, but I think that there's just a better aura going around there. Yes, you can say that you like Dan Campbell better as a coach and his guys want to run through the wall. That's fine. Even with the lack of coaching that's coming from McDermott at times, this team is absolutely ruthless. And I think that they're not going to allow themselves to be slouches coming into this one. I think that they're going to actually be looking to make a statement. There's not going to be none of this, oh, we're a little tired. Oh, football is hard. Oh, we're in a nice, comfortable spot. No. Buffalo understands there is no comfortability. Just look at history. The four falls of Buffalo will always be looming in the back of their fans' mind. I think this is a chance to steady the ship again, to let everybody know, yeah, we faltered last week. We're not doing it this week. We're getting back after it. Josh Allen to the promised land, MVP season ensuing. Give me Josh Allen, 4 total touchdowns, 3 throwing, 1 rushing.
I was really hoping you were going to go with Detroit because I wanted to pick Buffalo. I wanted to pick the exciting road victory on the AFC side. And I want to pick Buffalo, but I just now I feel like I got to pick Detroit because I need more ground to make up here. No, I'm sticking with Buffalo for now, but I reserve the right to flip my pick before kickoff on Sunday.
Here we go.
Buddy, sue me. Just sue me. Just serve the papers right now of Mazz. No matter what you do, it's not right because Charlie's going to hit you with your little contingency right there. You can have it. That's fine. And you know what? It's not even a hard pick because last time I stole Green Bay from you, you were stuck with Detroit and you ended up lucking out on it. So I'm probably doing you a favor, my friend. But you know what? If you don't want it to diverge, I'm not even mad about it because the less that you switch up on me, the safer position that I'm in. So even if we go down to only 2-3 picks, that's fine. The worst case scenario, I'm still 3 picks ahead. You need these games, baby. I don't.
If Buffalo played...
No, I was just about to ask, what are you thinking, Ant?
If Buffalo's defense plays any way like they played on Sunday, they are going to get steamrolled by Detroit. Detroit's the best offense in the NFL, and I don't want to hear anybody else say anything about Philly or Kansas City or Buffalo or whatever. I think Detroit is the best offense in the NFL. I mean, you get the 1-2 running game with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're averaging almost 150 rushing yards a game with, not even a mobile quarterback to really put those numbers into perspective. Amon-Ra's been great. Laporta's he's caught 3 or 4 touchdowns over the last couple of weeks. Detroit's offense is fantastic. I think Buffalo's defense is way too undersized, and they've gotten exploited multiple times this season. Detroit's defense is starting to play better. That guy Rodrigo, love him. And even without Hutchinson, they've been able to get a pass rush moving. I think Detroit really has a chance. Darius Smith's come in mid-year and been great. I think Detroit's going to have a easy time on offense. I think Buffalo's going to have an easy time on offense. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Detroit is able to pull it out.
Yeah, this is game of the year written all over it. It really could be it could be a 45-42 game, just like how the Rams had it last week against Buffalo. But we'll see. Should be exciting. Should be fun.
I just can't go against Papa Mazz, dude. I got to root with him.
Yeah. I see. It's so tough. All right, never forget it. I'll think about it this week, and don't worry. I'll let you know what my final pick is for prior to kickoff next weekend. But all right, last of the 4:00 slate. Green Bay out in Seattle, facing the Seahawks. 3-point favorites on the road, and I feel like this is kind of disrespectful to the Seahawks, who have been playing a really good brand of football as of late. Mazz, you go first.
It's Green Bay. It was always Green Bay. It's going to continue to be Green Bay. Yes, Seattle's home. The fact of the matter is that home field advantage does not mean what it used to be. I mean, the Giants went in there and got a dub this season. I expect Jordan Love and them boys to do nothing but. While Seattle's been playing decent football, Green Bay has probably been the most slept-on team in the NFL for how good that they've been this season. I mean, 9-4 coming into this one. Jordan Love definitely was the right move by the Packers of getting Aaron Rodgers out of there. And so some of us, including myself, was like, I could not believe that they drafted him. We talk about this ad nauseum, but the fact of the matter is there's the difference between being decent and really good, and the Packers are really good. I expect them to get this done on the road.
I think Seattle's run... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Ann. Go ahead.
I think Seattle's run defense is mediocre at best. I like Josh Jacobs to have a big day on the ground. Green Bay, I think, has just been able to sort of have a lot of creative play designs. I saw a post the other day of some Matt LaFleur's play designs and the way he's been able to really concept things. And he's having a really good season as a head coach because right now this roster is just kind of doing everything in its power to lose games. A lot of these wide receiver drops off these Jordan Love passes have been killer. But I think the Packers are able to overcome Seattle and first-year head coach Mike Macdonald.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up some defensive stats because that's obviously, I mean, the Packers have a great defense, but usually what decides their games is how many points they can put up. And as good as Mike McDonald has that Seahawks defense playing right now, I'm sticking with Mr. LaFleur. I'll go with the Packers as well. All right. On to Sunday Night Football, NFC North matchup. A few weeks ago, this was a nail biter that went down to overtime, and now here we are in Minnesota. Chicago Bears at Vikings. Vikings 7-point favorites at home, and I don't know how you could rock with how you couldn't rock with the Vikings. I mean, they're one of the best teams in football right now, playing fantastic. Sam Darnold, we talked about him at nauseum in the previous episode. It's Minnesota, man. It's Minnesota.
Tried giving the Bears some credit, thought that they were going to be able to do something against a really banged up 49ers team. I learned my lesson and won't be making that mistake twice, my friend. Sam Darnold, MVP conversation. Not going to win it. Going to be floating around it. I expect another masterclass, though, coming. Lock me in for 3 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception, over 330 yards.
All right.
I think right now, this is going to be a close game. Kevin O'Connell is the king of one-possession games, and the Vikings never make it easy on themselves as games move along, especially with a division rival, especially with the Chicago Bears. Just went to an overtime game. This game's going to be a lot closer than many people think it's going to be. That being said, the Bears had 4 total yards of offense in the first half last week against the 49ers. This offense is terrible. I get Caleb's a rookie, and I want to be fair on him, but it just looks bad. Like they just aren't, getting guys in favorable matchups. The running game has been stymied. DeAndre Swift's not doing really anything on the ground lately. Chicago's offense has just sputtered. And against a team like Minnesota, Brian Flores has coached a great defense this year. He's probably going to be a head coach somewhere next season. I just think Minnesota is going to be able to get this job done. It's going to be a close game, but Chicago's got a lot of decisions to make this offseason. I'm just going to say that right now.
He could be Chicago's next head coach for all we know, right? I mean, their interim head coach wasn't even their offensive coordinator. In 2 weeks, a man has went from offensive coordinator to interim head coach, right? And not that just one jump. Like what was it? The quarterback's coach, I believe, or wide receivers coach.
He was a pass game coordinator.
Pass game coordinator to offensive coordinator to interim head coach. I'm still rooting for him. The odds are stacked against him. It's not going to be nice, dude. This is going to be, I don't think it's going to be as bad as that 49ers first half because it can't, but it could.
I think it will.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will be. They moved the ball well a few weeks ago when they were playing at home against them. So I don't think it'll be like as bad as it was against San Fran, but definitely not great. But yeah, we're all rocking Minnesota there. And then on to Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons headed out west to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. Kirk Cousins coming off a tough performance these last 2 weeks. He's not been playing good whatsoever.
Last 4 weeks.
Yeah, Raheem Morris already came out and said he's going to be the starter Monday night against the Raiders, but I have to imagine he's going to be on a relatively short leash. Like Michael Penix is right there. You know what I mean?
How do you not play Penix here?
I know, right?
How do you not? If you're gonna bench Cousins,
give him a chance, against a bad team.
You drafted the kid in a high position, right? You already knew that you had the veteran quarterback. How the hell are you afraid of the Vegas defense? Is that it? Are you afraid of Max Crosby? That's the only thing that I could figure right now. You have Penix literally waiting right there. How do you even pass up on this? It just makes no sense. If you're not gonna have Cousins go out there and finish off the season, I just do not understand how you do not go out there and get Penix some time right this second against a team that, yes, they are, there are some pieces that are scary on defense. The defense itself is not scary. The Raiders are not scary. The only thing I like 2 things about the Raiders, and I've continued to say this. I like Max Crosby, and I like their head coach, and that's it. That's all I like. Nothing else. The entire team is horrendous. And Aiden O'Connell is not even going to be playing, so it got even worse.
He might.
He's not playing.
He could play.
You think?
He's got an extra day. They're
Okay.
playing on Monday. They're playing on Monday night, and he's only got a bone bruise, so it's entirely plausible Aiden O'Connell plays. But regardless, I don't care who's at quarterback for the Raiders. It could be Jim Plunkett. Give me the Falcons on a Monday night.
Could be Johnny Manziel not looking at the playbook for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Still give me the Falcons.
I don't know. But last 4 weeks, Kirk Cousins, no touchdowns, 8 interceptions in this 4-game losing streak. That's brutal.
That thing, that stock plummeted faster than Blockbusters.
But I don't know what happened. He was throwing for 500 yards earlier this year. So he might be hurt. That could be like the only explanation in my eyes as to why Kirk Cousins is performing so poorly. Because we've seen over the years he's a good polished quarterback. He has good pocket awareness. He has good reads. He gets the ball out quick. I just don't know what can be wrong with him at this current moment in time. That being said, I think he'll get back on track in this one. I think Vegas is just brutal right now. Their defense is okay, but they're not going to be able to do anything on the offensive side. Brock Bowers has been fantastic. I will say he is the offensive rookie of the year, and I don't want any other opposition to that. I get Jaden Daniels is winning games, but he's not performing. He's not having crazy stats like Brock Bowers is having for a rookie tight end. Brock Bowers is going to finish the top 4 in receiving yards as a rookie tight end. I think for that...
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that should give him the rookie of the year, but that's just me. I think Atlanta wins this game, though, and I think they win it by a couple scores.
I got to start throwing down Bucks to win the NFC South every year. It looks like it's going to come through again for me. I don't care. Even if the best case scenario, Falcons tie them this next week. And it was always the Bucks for the NFC South, my boys.
It might have been. But that's all our picks in for Week 15. Only diverging picks here. On Thursday night, me and Mazz both have San Fran, and you got the Rams.
Yes.
Carolina and Dallas. I have the Panthers. You guys are rocking with the Cowboys. And you and I are rocking with the Chargers. Mazz, you're solo riding the Buccaneers. Mazz, you and I got the Eagles, and you're solo riding the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as of right now, me and Mazz both got Buffalo, and you got Detroit. So it's gonna be a little different when we come back here next week and see how things shook out in Week 15.
I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be soloing a Steelers game. Never thought I'd see that.
I think hell has frozen over.
It definitely has.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us on the Picks Pod here. Hope you enjoyed. If you like our picks, come back next week to find out who we're picking for Week 16. And once again, shout out Mr. Producer Anthony Cafone for helping us out today and going forward.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Ready and break!